Hi everybody, and thank you very much for joining us on today's TNT. Please subscribe to the channel. Yes, the sound of the young students as they head home from uni for the day. You might hear a few motorbikes, some louder than others. But we're talking about visas, tourism visas specifically, and some changes. Don't get too excited. There's also a part 1 and a part 2. I've got part 2 right here, and I'll talk about that after we talk about part 1. But when it comes to changes with tourism visas or visas generally here in Thailand, people get very excited, and well, I suppose that's okay and expected. So I knew somebody would come out with a headline like this. Pattaya Mail didn't disappoint. Thai tourist visa changes announced on official website. So is the 90 days going down to 60 days or 10 days? Is the 93 countries going down to just one country? What's going on? All these changes, we have to know. Well, let's just sort of read into it. And all the juice really is in this first paragraph. The Thai Foreign Affairs Ministry has updated its summaries on the issuing of visas by its embassies and consulates abroad. And the meat's in this next sentence. The most significant announcement is that single entry 60-day tourist visas, that's the 60-day tourist visa that you pre-apply at an embassy overseas before you come to Thailand. It would be sitting in your passport before you come to Thailand, as distinct from the visa exemption. But the single entry 60-day tourist visa now requires bond proof of a foreign bank statement or a letter of guarantee of at least 20,000 baht, that's around about $600. This ruling has lapsed during the COVID pandemic, and the comprehensive visa regulations and major updates are at the ministry's website, and there it is. If you are pre-applying for a visa, this is the site to go to, thaivisa.go.th, and it says it is the Thai e-visa official website, and there's plenty of information down there and click-throughs for all those different types of visas, including the very popular destination Thailand visa. So all the information is there at thaivisa.go.th. Well, that's about as exciting as it gets in this particular announcement from the Foreign Affairs Ministry. I know what everybody's asking, what's happening to the visa exemption? Currently, there are 93 countries that can arrive in Thailand without a pre-applied or pre-approved visa, and they can get an exemption by just walking up to the immigration desk after, of course, you've done your TDAC. And you do that in the 3 days before you arrive in Thailand. That reminds me, I've got to do my Malaysian version of that tonight. But then they'll just put a stamp in your passport saying that you can stay for 60 days. If you want to get a 30-day extension, then you can pay 1,900 baht at a local immigration office. Total of 90 days without any specific pre-applied visa. So as far as this announcement's concerned, and as far as the rumour mill's concerned, there are no changes imminent for the 60-day visa exemption for 93 countries. Now, there were plenty of people saying, including politicians and media releases from the government, including the Prime Minister, saying that there are proposals to reduce the 60-day visa exemption. But the way that things are just starting to soften regarding tourism, we're all starting to think that that can might be kicked down the road, as they say, or there might be a significant delay. When the kids come past on their motorbikes, they come past in groups. I think they used to call them gangs. Now, to part 2 of tourism visas, and I'm off to Penang on Wednesday to apply for a new B visa for reasons that are extremely boring and you don't need to know. However, I am astonished about how many trees have died just so that I can get an application for a visa completed. I would say that without doubt that is a good ream of paper, good A4 paper. Most of it, in fact just about 100% of it, printed on one side only. And there's 2 photos there on the front page and all the basic information. I would have thought that page pretty much covers everything they need to know, but no. they need evidence, and lots of it, from the people who I'll be working for as such, where the offices are, what my desk will look like, the colour of my underpants, what visas I've had before, everything. Oh good God, even pictures of me, lots of pictures of me. And now with the bank statement, it was an 8-page printout of the last 6 months of my bank statements. Now, you would have thought I just can print them off on my own with a PDF from my phone. No, you've got to go to the original bank where you opened your account, and you've got to ask them to print out the 8 pages, for which they charge 200 baht, that's okay. But then there was all these supporting papers that, well, thank you very much. Daisy's as shocked as I am about all these pages having to be printed. I'm still sort of just shaking my head about how complicated this application for a B visa is. I must have had 5 or 6 of these over the year. Oh no, that's wrong. Probably about four total applications for a B visa, plenty of renewals, but this is by far, and they're saying this is including all the new requirements from immigration officers, and I'll say something about the embassies overseas in just a moment in relation to this. But to support the 8 pages of bank statements, there was another 25 pages of stamps and date stamps and bank stamps and signatures, my signature, their signature. Every page, in fact every page of this, has to be signed by me and by the people who submitted the actual papers. So to get my 8-page bank statement has taken another 25 pages of supporting documentation saying, yeah, we're the bank and we're the ones who printed out this information, which again seems to me to be a little bit bureaucratic. And the other thing about this is I'm going to Penang. I've been to Penang twice before to get a B visa. In both cases, I go to the embassy, or the consulate actually, and I give them my papers on one day. Never anything like this. Maybe it was that thick in the past. Now it's this. I drop them off on one day, go into town and have a curry, have a sleep, and then go back the next morning, pick up my passport with the visa in there, and head to the airport and home. 2 days, done. Now you have to go to Penang. You don't actually go to the consulate. You give it to an agent, and they will submit the documents on your behalf, and then you just wait. How long do you have to wait? They don't know. Sometimes it takes 3 days. Sometimes it can take up to 2 weeks. So I've got a one-way flight to Penang. I don't know when I'm coming back. So none of this is inconvenient, of course. But just imagine all these trees have died so I can have a visa. Now, I would say that that is starting to err on the absurd. That if they're doing anything to encourage people to stay and live in Thailand, this is evidence, I would suggest, to the contrary. There you are, just have a close look at that. Do you want to count all the pages? And there's some heft in that. I don't know, it's probably a couple of kilos. So it means I'll only be able to take on board with me probably 1 shirt and a pair of underpants. Otherwise I'll be in excess luggage territory. So there you go. That's my thoughts about visas today. Really there's no big changes. The only change is to that pre-applied tourism visa. It's also an e-visa that you will have to provide a documentary evidence. Maybe just like me, you'll have to go to your bank in your foreign country and get evidence that you've got at least 20,000 baht in the bank. And it may be that that's foreshadowing that they may be asking for that evidence in the future. So with that, hopefully you're up to date. Please subscribe to the channel. Thanks for dropping in. We'll see you next time.